in the class workout too?
Yep. No, I coach the class. I coach the weightlifting class.
So like for the most part, you just work out with the classes?
Lately, yes. Yes, I'll just hop into classes. It's always a good time. I mean, it's like being part of the community. And usually the classes get the workouts that I did the previous week. I'll tweak them or change them, and then I'll give them to them next week. But lately I've been writing workouts that I would like to do and hop in for the week as well. And the class gets that.
So like half of the time it's them doing stuff you already tested.
Yeah.
And at least lately.
Yeah.
You haven't tested them yet. You're just
sometimes it's always harder if I haven't tested it, because sometimes the workouts are a lot harder then. Once I've tested it, I kind of have a good feel for it.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this long enough that now I know what the workouts are going to feel like and what kind of stimulus I'm looking for, and it's easier to make adjustments for classes without having tested the workouts.
And then when you're like, so I know you guys have like a bunch of different classes, which is like, I guess something that I've been struggling with a little bit, like offering the same class versus, offering different classes. So like, can you tell me
so we have a couple different classes. We have a regular CrossFit class, which is an hour long, and we just do traditional CrossFit. Like some days it's just a workout, some days it's strength and a workout, some days it's a workout with some accessory work. Varied CrossFit, like it should be. Krypton Fit classes, which are 30-minute, high-intensity interval training, bodyweight workouts with machines, some cardio stuff, like just high-intensity interval training, easy on-ramp for people to just come into the gym and get fit, just do some fitness stuff. Maybe think classic, just high-intensity interval training.
Yeah, like just
15 to 20-minute workouts.
Nice. And it's a shorter class. It's 30 minutes.
It's 30 minutes, so you're in and out, right?
Right.
A little bit more tailored to that person that might be hesitant to want to hop into a barbell workout or high-skill gymnastics or things that CrossFit teaches. So a lot of times people come in and do that class, and then they'll see that the class is doing something similar, but like with a little bit more skill, and they're like, oh, I kind of want to learn that someday, so maybe I can go, I'm ready to go to the class, and they can hop into the class. They have a good fitness level, like basic fundamental metabolic conditioning fitness-wise, and they can hop into the class and learn some more skills like that CrossFit will bring, So we have those two. Then we have our weightlifting class on Saturday that I coach, and we just do snatch and clean and jerk and all the variations of the two and practice for those two lifts. And that's an hour on the weekends. And then we have a gymnastics class on Sunday. One of our coaches, Amanda, does a great job. She coaches gymnastics. So she comes in and does that once a week. And then I started recently a 60-plus class. So we have a master's class.
Yeah.
60-plus. It's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's awesome. I love it. Like just trying to – everybody needs this. So bringing that to that community so that they can be around people that are in the same age range and like modifying and scaling and just trying to work on moving. So that's for the very beginner, trying to get people in there. That's been good. And what else we got? We have a master's class on Sunday as well, which is like 35 and up. It's a bit different. It's not as old of a crew, but it's masters.
Right. So and that's like where like the competitive masters might feel a little more at home too. Sure.
I mean, they're all competitive just because they're competitive. Like
people are.
They're
competitive.
just people are competitive. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like you guys have a bunch of programs. I have something a little similar. Like I work with kids primarily. Mm-hmm. So I think there's like for me two groups. There's like people that are out of shape and people that are like in basic shape and want to get better at a sport or get more athletic.
Sure.
So one thing I find challenging is when I'm like writing the programming. And I guess, for like your CrossFit programming, maybe for weightlifting and gymnastics, do you periodize them? Do you have like, hey, we're doing a 10-week squat cycle, like in the general classes, and like, is that how you kind of program it in the general classes?
Okay. So CrossFit wasn't all about periodization in the beginning,
right?
But what we do here is we have a movement of the month. So we'll test and retest.
Okay.
Testing and retesting is absolutely crucial to having any sort of successful program, because if you don't test, you have no idea how much you're improving or where you could improve. So we test and retest a movement of the month, and this movement might be just one skill. Like it might be something like clean and jerk, or it might be something like a muscle up, and we'll test with a specific movement, like 30 muscle ups for time, and then we'll retest at the end of the month. We'll work on those skills that we would need to acquire to get better at that, and then we test out, and people always do better. So it keeps it so that people have a focused goal. And like this last, we actually did 2 months because it was right before the open. It's really a month and a half. We did back squats. We tested our back squat in early February, and we're just retesting this week and the following week. And we did like a 7-week cycle. And, squatted once or twice a week, depending on how hard that squat session was. And then we'll retest, and that's a good way for people to continually push up their PRs, you know.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on to, I always try to keep it varied. So like if we do a couple weightlifting in a row, we'll switch it to like a 2K row, or we'll do a 1 mile run, or we'll do a workout, a specific workout. So we do a movement of the month every month, which is fun. It keeps things varied.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I do like a skill of the month with the kids.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, I guess the follow-up to that is, so like when we have a skill of the month and we're trying to work with people that, let's say their average attendance is like twice a week or something, like they could end up missing the days.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, like, oh, you missed the test. Oh, you missed the 2 days a week that we're doing back squats.
Yeah.
So like, how do you work around that? Like, do you let the members know individually?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
we tell them what the movement of the month is, and so, you know, you have to give people a focus if they don't have a focus. A lot of times people are not here. They're not here for like performance-based fitness,
right?
Which is what CrossFit is, and it's what it needs to be, because all the other parameters, like, you know, wanting to bring down your health markers or improve your health markers or look better naked or improve your running times or something, like improving your strength. Like all these things happen if you're performance focused. So if you give your athletes in the gym a performance focus, like, hey, here's the movement of the month that we're working on. Yes, we're doing all these other things too because we're a CrossFit gym, but here's the movement of the month. You can really give them teach them how to work towards a goal and progress towards it. So if they miss those days, they miss those days, but they'll at least know, hey, we're squatting twice a week. So if you miss these days, hop in when you come in and make sure you get your squats in first, because that's our goal for this month. You know, because if you don't have a goal, you're kind of just wandering.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will, like, say we squatted Monday, Friday one week, and they come in Tuesday, Thursday, they get their squats before they do the workout. So
they'll kind of like
skipping the strength and having them do back squats, and then they hop into the workout.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
so like in the actual class itself, you'll be like, oh, you missed Mondays. And that's cool because I guess it gives some like a responsibility almost, or like you said, they're focused on it.
Some don't want to do that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But then others that want to do it, I'm like, yeah, sure. You can squat over there. We're going to do these cleans. You guys can squat.
Cool.
You know, yeah.
So, and then everybody does the WOD together, like the conditioning piece afterward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's I think I kind of do that from time to time, and I never knew if that was like atypical or not. You know,
yeah, it seems very normal. I mean, I don't get around to a lot of gyms, but we run our gym a certain way, and that seems like the right way to do it.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't want your stuff to just be random.
Totally. Yeah, because then especially like, you know, working with for me, kids or with people that are not super into fitness, then it is hard for them to like master or feel like they're getting closer to mastering certain movements.
Yep.
And that same philosophy of like having things performance-based, because if you focus on performance, then the other markers will go down.
Yep.
I think that has like a huge impact on kids' self-confidence.
Yeah.
Because instead of like, oh, Johnny, you're so fat and you have to lose weight because people are bullying you, now all of a sudden Johnny can tell his friends like, yo, I squatted 100 pounds, and, you know, like,
make Johnny more capable.
Exactly.
And watch how his confidence improves.
Yep.
In the gym, but also outside the gym.
Exactly.
That's so cool to see, because we have so many kids that have come in here, athletes. It's especially like the teenage high school girl athlete that comes in and they're timid at first, and then by the senior year they're like running the team and you know, crushing everybody on the field, and it's really cool to see. And they're confident and they're trash talking some people for workouts. Like it's fun. It's good to see people build that confidence, and it carries over everywhere.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it comes, at least I think, from, it's like, oh, I wasn't good at something, and now I worked on it and got better at it. And like you said, that applies to anything, whether it's like homework, your job, your marriage, you know, like any of those aspects.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So kind of going back to, so you have all the different.
Let me shut that door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fixed that door recently. That's been driving me nuts for like a year.
It was broken?
Yeah, so now it works and stays open.
That's
so sorry.
Funny enough, that was actually what I was going to kind of ask you about. Like, you know, what are the things that you do at the gym? You know, like, what are your jobs, and also what are some of the other jobs that you think are the most important to like running a gym, you know, the right way, meeting all the members' needs. There's so many different.
Yeah.
I know
it's
you've been
hard.
in this a long time, so.
Yeah, it's hard. We're recently trying to restructure things here in our gym. So if you try to to wear too many hats, stuff either gets missed, slips through the cracks, or you have things that are reoccurring that you never really address and get on top of, or just things aren't quite where you want them to be. So I think a gym offers, for us, we offer three things. One would be the programming, two would be the facility, and then three would be the coaching. So each one of those, that's what kind of upholds our gym and sets the standard and makes it a place where people either want to be or they want to go somewhere else. So now we have someone as a head coach. Now we have me doing the programming and kind of general orienteering of orienting which direction the gym wants to go in with base programming and getting feedback from athletes. And then we have someone help managing the day-to-day in the gym. So the staff that works at the front desk, the members' needs and things like that. So having a person dedicated to each one of those things is going to help us get organized. And this is obviously something I'm always working towards. So hopefully get organized and kind of push forward and grow into the community just a little bit more effectively, a little bit more efficiently. So lately, before this, I'd always been trying to do too many things at once, and it's hard for me to keep track of that, especially with family and 2 kids at home now, and things come up and things pop up. So just being able to have a good structure in place is important. Having good people around you, you really got to have good people around you. You can't do it by yourself. You know that. It's not just you doing all this, right?
Well, so currently, for the most part, yeah. So I'm in I had a gym before COVID, and then COVID happened. I went bankrupt and everything. So that was tough. And then I opened this gym about 2 years ago. So I'm right a year and 6-7 months, probably maybe a year and a half. I've got a couple assistant coaches, but nobody that's really kind of stepping up into that, managerial role or the responsibilities role. I have people that can show up and do front desk work, or people that can show up and do coaching work. The gym's open right now. I'm here in Virginia, so that's all good. But I do feel like I'm still stuck with wearing the too many hats because I still have to delegate everything, right? So if I forget to ask front desk person to call everybody for their birthday, or I don't know, some of those things, it's part of making the members feel more at home. Or if I forget to do programming, there's nobody that's actually in charge of it. You know what I mean?
Yep. I do.
So yeah, right.
I do.
So I would say, when you were transitioning from when you were still doing most of it alone
now. Yeah, I'm not doing it alone at all by any means.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm working. That's my job now, is to try to get things set up so that they're more standalone, so that I don't have to be controlling all these little things all at the same time.
Yeah.
So just trying to spread it out a little bit more, just having good people around you to help.
What would you say is the kind of the most challenging thing about, I guess, first of all, moving that role from you to somebody else? There's got to be a learning curve of, here's the things I know about how to do this job. Or I don't know, the skills of the person. What are you looking for? What are you talking about in those?
Someone that's like-minded, that understands the way that you want things done, or the way that things should be, and then trusting that person and giving control up to them so that they can do their job, not trying to overmanage them or micromanage them, I guess would be the word.
Do you feel like people ask to do that job, or you have to ask people, hey, I have this position that, I'm really trying to get this job done. Could you do that?
Probably. It can be a little bit of both.
Okay.
It can be a little bit of both. For us, it was the second one, so asking and knowing the people around you and what they're capable of. It's, one of my coaches has been here for 10 years now. He's going to step up and be our head coach, right? So he's going to manage the coaching staff. And that's kind of been something that a couple of us have all been doing at the same time. And now it's okay, here's your job. We're going to manage the coaching staff. And he's all in. He's going to do a great job. And you just know he's going to do a great job.
Yeah.
So things like that make it easy. But outside of that, if I didn't have somebody that would want to step into that role, I'd have to be really patient and find the right person and take your time, interview people, and which hasn't been something that we've had to do yet. So
yeah,
that can be a hard process, I'm sure.
I think it to some degree gets easier when you've been around longer and you do know more of the people in your community or have more of a idea of what doesn't work and what does work too. Which I'm looking forward to that. I feel like even stepping into year 2 of like owning this gym is things that I didn't know before about like how early to plan certain things. Like know that now. But
yeah, like I do things last minute, but having somebody to plan things is great. I'm not a planner, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I'm the worst. That's exactly
so just
where
finding someone to fit that role.
Yep. I know everybody that I try to hire, I'm like, I want you to be my boss.
Yeah.
I'm the worst employee here. And the owner hasn't fired me yet.
Sure.
That's cool, man. Let's see. That was honestly most of the questions I had to ask you. So I guess that's really cool. I appreciate kind of sharing all that stuff.
Yeah.
If I could let you leave me off with 2 more things. So number 1, if you were in your 3rd year again, or 2nd year, like kind of where I'm at, and you have, I'll give you that picture, I have like 70 members.
Okay.
Trying to do something that's a little different, kind of like how CrossFit was doing something a little different. You know, I'm working with kids primarily, which is what most gyms don't do as their primary. What would be the, 2 biggest things you would be kind of focusing on to grow?
I mean, offering a great class, offering a successful product. That's the number 1, and then the second thing would be just to really care. I think if you do those 2 things well, if you care, and then if you offer a good product and produce results, I think all the other things fall into place. Like you don't have to market, you don't have to sell it. Like they will tell people, they'll see it. Like you'll see the change in the people that come in, and like the fruit of this place will be healthy, fit people. And then that speaks for itself in the public. Yeah. Like they're just different than the rest of the population. You're like, oh, and then somebody might ask them about it. They're like, oh yeah, I go to this gym down the street. The owner's great. They do this, that, and the other. Yeah. So
that's sick.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just word of mouth. But really care. I think that's the biggest thing for anybody, coaches, gym owners, if you care. Yeah. So that's the way CrossFit started. CrossFit started with people that just cared about fitness and wanting to share it with people, and they'll open a gym and they're unsuccessful because they're not up to the side of things on the business side, not usually the coaching and the caring side. Right. You know what I mean? It's usually too much of that and not enough of the business. Yeah. And nowadays maybe you get more people that are about the business and not enough about the caring. You got to find that balance where you got to take care of the business side of things, but also care, more importantly, care and offer a good product. So. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I have to pick one at a time. I'm like, okay, wait, you're caring too much, or you're not paying any of these bills. Wait a second. Or then maybe it's time to find somebody to help with that, so that you can really focus on what's most important for you to do. Yeah. Someone that doesn't care as much about that side of it and is more into the other side of it, which there's people to fit those roles too. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Someone to do the business stuff, so I can start caring more. Yeah, which would be cool. Yeah, definitely. Sick, dude. Cool. Last question, what's coming next for you? What's coming next for the gym? I know you got some kids and stuff, so I'm sure. Yeah, no, I got 2 little girls now, so I'm busy with a lot of stuff at home too. But gym's going really well. We've been starting to work with a lot of sports teams. So I've been coaching the Great Bridge High School baseball team with CrossFit for a year and a half, almost coming on 2 years now. So we're going through the second group of seniors coming in. That's been really cool, seeing them grow and change and get stronger, bigger, stronger, faster. We're producing results physically over there for them, which is cool to see. And then we have some teams coming in here. I'm really enjoying that dynamic, just trying to find the right schedule for all of that, because it gets busy. Yeah, with the other 5 classes that are going on. Yeah, and still running classes. And a lot of times people ask me what I want to see the gym do, and it's I don't want to own 5 gyms around the state. I want to own one gym that's really, really good at what we do. Yeah. And I want to be the shining light on a hill for what CrossFit can be and how it should be done inside this gym. And I want this to be a good example of what CrossFit can do in the world, because I think it can do a lot of good. That's sick, dude. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. So, yes, sir. Cool. Thanks, dude. Yeah, no problem. That's sick. Yeah. Oh man, I love owning a gym. Yeah, it's a dream job, that's for sure.